going to take a while, and I'm not sure it'll ever be a great fit, to the point that I think this Warriors team will be far more vulnerable than that one last year. Because, Shannon, in all my years of covering sports, the more I think about this, I've never seen anything quite like it. And the Warriors were obviously damned if they do or damned if they don't. Right. You can't say no to Kevin Durant, right. but you also just came off 73 wins, the all-time most wins ever, and you're going to throw a former MVP into that chemistry right. mix, really? Mm-hmm. With a guy who's just won back-to-back MVPs? Right. Never anything like it. Far more fascinating to me than even what happened that you saw up close and personal, 2011 in Miami. That was LeBron joining, you know, as close to a brother as he could have who's not his real brother, right?
Yes.
In Dwayne Wade. I mean, they're like blood brothers. They're best friends. They're soulmates. They were going to figure out how to make it work because Dwayne immediately said, as you remember, basically, I'm Robin now. He's Batman. He's got the most talent. I got my ring. But obviously, Robin subtly was willing to help Batman figure out how to win a championship. And he did. And the mix here is more volatile because Kevin and Steph they're friendly, but they're not friends.
Right.
And the only saving grace here is that, as I've said before, Kevin's heart's in the right place, but he's not an alpha. He's more of a follower than a leader. So maybe he has more capacity to blend into this mix. But the more I look at the numbers, the harder it gets to make it fit because Harrison Barnes took the 98th most shots in the league last year, 9.6 a game, 98th most. Kevin Durant took the 5th most shots in the league, so you're going to replace the 98th with the 5th. And Steph took the 2nd most shots in the league. And by the way, twice in Kevin's past, he's taken the 2nd most shots in the league. Mm-hmm. So something has to give. And Steph, listen, he might be the baby-faced assassin, but underline that word assassin. And he is an alpha, and it is his team, and he is the back-to-back MVP, and he's taken a back seat to nobody.
Right.
So I think it's going to be a struggle for a while. I think because of the cap issues, they lost some critical depth, and most of all, they lost Andrew Bogut. He was one of the best, if not the best, rim protectors in basketball. Their defense will suffer some. So all of a sudden, to get better, quote unquote, they got a little worse. And in the end, it just makes them more vulnerable. Now, can I make a case for another team in the West breaking through? I'm going to save that until a little later when Chris Broussard joins us for the first time on this show here at Fox. But the point is, I look at this, and the harder I look, the worse it gets to me, to where all I can say is the 73 wins can't be any more than maybe 60 to 63 at the most this time. They're going to be more vulnerable than they were a year ago.
I agree with you. And for a lot of the same reasons that you said, you're asking 4 players in their absolute prime, the absolute apex, to come together for a common goal. Now, when LeBron went to Miami, D. Wade was never thought of as the best player in the league. Kevin Durant at one point in time was thought of as the best player in the league.
I agree.
Steph Curry says, okay, you might be thought of as that, but I'm the 2-time defending MVP. And the last time I won the MVP, it was the first time anyone had ever been a unanimous MVP. Now, we have on record Klay Thompson saying, I'm not sacrificing bleep. Draymond has already said every time I shoot the ball, Steve Kerr is looking at me side-eye.
You're right.
So now he want me to go from shooting the ball 8 times to shooting it 3 times. I don't see how that fits into the mix. It's a lot more difficult than people think when you blend talent and egos, especially when you got 5 guys. Basketball, because it's so superstar dominant. And it would be like A.J. Green all of a sudden joining the Atlanta Falcons with Julio Jones. Julio's go like, I'm top dog. A.J. Green say, bro, did you see my resume when I was at Cincinnati? They brought me here for a reason. Julio says, I'm going to need my 13 targets a game. A.J. Green said, I'm going to need my 13 too. Well, 26 targets between you 2 players, how many times you expect to throw the football? Are you going to run it? Whose shots get sacrificed the most? KD is a volume shooter. He needs his 19 shots. Steph Curry's going to need his 18 to 20 shots. Klay going to want his 16.
He will.
So, Draymond, look, Draymond is a guy that you don't really run offense for him. But if he's open, he's going to want to shoot the ball. And if I'm teams, I want him to shoot the ball. I don't want Clay. I don't want Durant. I don't want Steph Curry shooting it. All things being equal, I want him shooting it. So it's a hard mix to get together because you got 4 all NBA players, different levels. You got first team. KD was the second team last year. Clay was third team. Draymond was third team, but he was first team all defensive.
Yeah.
These guys got egos.
Big.
These guys, look, I won a championship, KD. You ain't won no championship.